Hey guys, and welcome to part 14 of Let's Play MGS3. So yeah, this is going to be another long session, and that's doubly so considering that I missed out on last weekend, so I gotta make it up to you guys. Yeah, I just quit the game and just checked up on the previous part here so that I can edit all that good stuff. So yeah, just moving on. And right, I was gonna get to the subject of Raikov, as Eva said that we had to steal his uniform and disguise ourselves as him. So Raikov is, if this is your first like Metal Gear game that you are playing and you haven't touched any of the other ones, he's a parody reference to Raiden from Metal Gear Solid 2, because initially when Metal Gear Solid 2 came out, a lot of fans, including me, were not happy with Raiden, because Raiden, as you'll see when we get to him, is a complete loser, like a complete idiotic wimp when we first ran into him. So yeah, not very many people were happy about having to play through as him throughout the rest of Metal Gear Solid 2, because we were all assuming that, oh yeah, we're gonna play as Snake and everything, but no. Whoops, spoilers, I guess, but you know, in this day and age, that's like common knowledge, especially if you're diving into Metal Gear. But new enemy type. So these guys use flamethrowers, so be very careful with them. Actually, now that I think about it, I didn't push that barrel when I first fought these guys. I just shot that barrel and took him out. And if you hit the CO2... I think it's CO2. Actually, hold on. Say again. I have to give you a call here.
Snake, you see that anti-aircraft gun?
Yeah,
That's
sure.
a Zu-23, a light towable anti-aircraft gun that the Soviets started producing in 1957. It was designed for deployment in airborne units and motorized rifle divisions without their own self-propelled anti-air guns. It's got two 23mm air-cooled automatic cannons with a firing rate of 800 rounds per minute. They usually take a 6-man crew to operate, but you ought to be able to handle one by yourself. In addition to shooting at low-flying aircraft, you can also use them as machine guns to target light armored land vehicles. I imagine they'd be more than a match for that new attack chopper of theirs, too. You can take over an anti-aircraft gun the same way you take over a gun emplacement. Stand next to it and press the action button. Use the weapon button to fire. Press the aim button to focus in on a target. Just remember that they've got limited ammo. Also, don't forget,
What, they do?
you can't move around while you're using an
I always
emplacement.
thought that they had
if
an
the enemy's
infinite,
getting too
but
close for
okay.
comfort, press the action button to ditch it. Pronto.
Yeah, they're, for the most part, if you're playing this game normally and stealthily, you're not going to need them. In fact, if you just sat on one and fired it right now, you'd instantly get into an alert phase.
Snake, you see that?
Yeah, talk about the flamethrower.
Snake.
Okay, maybe I'm too close, because some of it is, I think, contextual. Talk about this asshole right here.
You seen any enemies equipped with flamethrowers?
Yep.
Those flamethrowers are M2s. They were first used in World War II during the invasion of Guam. The M2 uses pressurized nitrogen gas to fire a fuel mixture of napalm and gasoline. It comes in handy for torching places that are tough to secure with conventional firepower, like trenches and bunkers and pillbox enclosures. Watch out though. Get hit by a flamethrower in a narrow spot like a closet or a trench, and it's barbecue time. Don't wander too close to an enemy carrying a flamethrower. If you need to take one out, try sniping from a distance so the flames can't reach you.
What are they doing with American-made flamethrowers anyway?
Well, like a lot of other Western weapons, those M2s were probably jacked for research purposes. But if they're actually using them, man, they must really have it in for you.
What do you mean?
The flamethrower is heavy, short-ranged, and can only be used for a short period of time. Not only that, but when a flame trooper gets captured, he's almost always put to death. Basically, it's a bad idea all the way around to use flamethrowers unless you're sweeping. And despite all that, they're keeping them at the ready just for you. What do you think of it?
They're out for revenge.
Well, you've killed 3 members of the Cobra unit already, so you can see why Vogan has it in for you.
Yeah, don't worry too much about these flamethrower guys. This is literally the only point where in the game we actually run into them. And they're really easy to bypass, because once you take this guy out, it's pretty much smooth sailing, because you just slide down here, worry about this guy over here, in which case, down you go. If you don't have stealth, obviously, yeah, you're not gonna have stealth when you play through it the first time. Just take him out with your gun, whichever gun you want, and boom, you're right at the door. So, yeah, flamethrower guys, they do suck to fight though. I guess if you really do manage to screw up somehow and things just go bad, then yeah. Takes against that vice. And we are about to hit another boss fight. Okay, not gonna need that. Those will be good. Yeah, sure. Then... okay. I'll probably use... okay, flame camo. So flame camo is actually the camo pattern that you get from this boss if you take him out with non-lethal weapons. And what it does is it prevents you from getting burn damage. Like, you're not gonna have to worry about getting burnt and treating yourself in the cure menu or the survival viewer. Alright, fine. Do I have... okay, no I don't. Night vision goggles, that's what I was muttering about. Yeah. So these will come in handy, because the thermal goggles, you can use them, but... yeah, it's a little hard to see around you. So that's why you can opt out for the night vision goggles here. And our good old friend the Shoddy. If that's the case, we better get this ready. Okay, good to go. And if you want batteries, there are some batteries on the right here. Just hop over to here, or blow up the barrels if you want. Although that attracts the bats, and they'll start attacking. Up we go. Oop, got ourselves a good old battery. And, okay, well, our glowing mushrooms are rotten right now, but there are glowing mushrooms in these tunnels. Okay. Alright. It's boss time. Again.
Fury! The flames of my rage will incinerate you. I came back from space. As I returned, I had one vision. The world set ablaze. And do you know what I saw there? fury. A great and terrible fury at being alive. Now you're going to feel the scorching heat of that horrible blackness.
Ooh boy, and we got ourselves a pyromaniac for a boss fight. He was a former astronaut. Okay. And let's give Sigint a call because he'll talk about the Fury's weapon loadout a little bit here.
That's not an ordinary flamethrower the Fury's using. Normally, flamethrowers use a mixture of napalm and gasoline for fuel. But from what I hear, that guy is using liquid rocket fuel. I'm guessing it's probably a mixture of UDHM, unsymmetrical dimethylhydrazine, and NTO, nitrogen tetroxide. I'm sure you've seen how potent that stuff is. The Fury's flamethrower is one hell of a weapon. Any frontal attack you make is just gonna get swatted down by the flames. You gotta circle around him and attack from behind or from the side.
Okay, so flanking attacks like usual, and we're in a tunnel setting. Okay. Yeah, it was pretty funny when I first saw this boss fight, because to me, the voice of the Fury sounds like Christopher Lloyd from Back to the Future, or Doc.
Quit fooling around!
Well, I'm not fooling around, fool. Okay, for our batteries. Are you serious? Okay. I guess I'll munch on that. So the rations actually don't heal, they don't recover a lot when you first eat them, but steadily over time, if you keep eating the rations, they actually fill up a little bit more than usual. Just in case. And I hear him over there. So, beauty of headsets, I suppose, is flying over to... I'm going to anticipate the right. Nope. He is closer over here. Oh, shit. And normally I would be on fire right now. Yeah, I get blasted out of the air.
My shoe! Son of a bitch!
Oh, you and your invincibility frames, you are lucky.
My fury.
Well, taste my shotgun, bastard. Woo! What the hell? Ah. Yeah, this is not recommended unless you got this flame, the fire camo, because this will just chew through your health. And yeah, I remember getting into close calls with this guy before, so you can also use claymores. Claymores are also a very useful weapon against them if you plant them around the corners of the tunnels. That could be a little cheeky there. Yeah.
Boss, this is the end of the Cobras. You've got to live on. You're the only one left. I'm off to join the sorrow.
Roasted.
fires of hell will purge me. I can see it. Mission Control, do you read me? I'm coming home. I see the Earth.
Technically, he's not wrong. I mean, we are underground, sort of. Oh, shit. Whoa! Jeez. Yeah. Ooh, dusty. Yeah, actually, funny enough, the smoke was actually a lot thicker in the original PS2 version of the game. Like, you couldn't see, like, with the default camera angles, unless you looked forward in first-person view mode. Alright. Time to change up our loadout here. And we are at the 17-minute mark. So a little over halfway of our time limit. Okay. Go. All right. Okay, and we are officially at the heart of enemy territory in Groznygrad. Yeah, that's a lot of dudes. There's the main lab. Okay, and let's first save. Give Paramech a bit of a call here.
Saving the game, Snake? Snake, have you ever seen the guns of Navarone?
Never.
Nope.
It's about a mission to blow up the huge guns on the island of Navarone during World War II. 6 men are chosen to participate in the operation, each with his own special ability. They only have until an English destroyer passes by the island to complete their mission. Facing impossible odds, the 6 men have to sneak onto the island from a cliff on the southern shore.
That doesn't sound like something I'd want to watch in my free time.
Maybe not for you, but the Major was absolutely crazy about it.
The Major?
He told me to tell you how great it was.
Tell him I'll go see it as soon as I get back to the States.
Do you want to tell him yourself?
No, let's save that for later. I'd better get back to the mission.
Yeah.
So, I guess you can almost chalk that up to a little bit of foreshadowing. 6 men with unique abilities on pretty much a covert operation of sorts. So, very similar to stuff like the members of Foxhound or whatnot from like the Metal Gear Solid 1. So, pretty much like a special team that's just like in Metal Gear Solid 1 with like the Foxhound members, or even the Cobras in this state of Metal Gear Solid 3. And yeah, I guess it sort of reminds you, because I was going to talk a little bit more about movies in a bit here, because just yesterday I was hanging out with my old man, and the day before we were watching a lot of old westerns and whatnot. Like we watched the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. What else did we watch? He recommended Trinity, which I'm not fully sure what the proper title is, because it seems like it's a series of old westerns, like spaghetti westerns, and the particular main actor that played in that role was a guy by the name of Terrence Hill, I believe. So my dad was giving me recommendations along with his roster of movies, because I mainly grew up with like Clint Eastwood movies in terms of like westerns like that. So I was more familiar with that. And then the last movie we watched was Django, the Quentin Tarantino version, because my dad briefly mentioned like an older version. And I to some extent, I feel kind of bad about watching that with my old man, because his reaction to Tarantino's like super violence was kind of funny, because like I can't help but laugh when I saw his expression in the first bit where when dude just gets his head like blown off, and like just. Well, you guys, for any of you guys who've watched Tarantino movies, you know how they are with like their ultra violence. But my main concern, I suppose, is just because of my dad being essentially a veteran of the Vietnam War, and I didn't want to make him uncomfortable. But at the same time, I guess to talk a little bit about how I feel with violence, and like, I guess, yeah, I'll touch base with this subject as best as I can right here, but violence in video games and movies, like, a lot of people always talk about how, oh, it's like, it desensitizes you, and like, that's a bad thing. Not necessarily, it depends on how you handle it, because in my opinion, I think the more familiar you get with it, it's kind of a good thing if you can train yourself to handle and think about various situations that might be particularly brutal. Because to some extent it freeze, bitch. Damn, I got a little sidetracked there. But my point is, like, I get a little annoyed whenever I get into potential arguments with people who claim they're pacifists and just absolutely like detest violence, and yeah, I'm sure you guys know the kind of people I'm sort of referencing here. But at the same time, I consider myself to be a partial bit of a pacifist, because like I said, I train in martial arts. So one of the first things I always teach is like the importance of like the philosophy of like martial arts and how you have to use it for self-defense and like good reasons like that. But it's important because it also touches base with survival skills, really, because at the end of the day, yeah, if a bad situation comes, you can always call the police, but how long is it going to take for emergency responders to get there? Just think about that. At least like five or so minutes, right? So you have to be able to keep yourself alive within those 5 minutes. So like, can you really do that like by running around and maybe like cowering in a corner? Because you gotta be able to hold your ground too, which is a lesson I often teach a lot of like my students whenever I'm teaching people in martial arts. So like exercising like a good case of like self-defense and knowing when and how to fight is still important. You can't just brush that off. And that almost, yeah, that just reminds me of another subject today with airsoft laws currently being brought into question with like Canada and everything. So sorry, I really am trying to juggle this point while I was trying to maintain the game here. It's a little tough. But yeah, airsoft laws in Canada, like they're trying to pass it so that it's pretty much harder to own airsoft guns, because most of the time, like for any of you guys who are wondering, it's called Bill C-21, I believe, and it's supposed to regulate airsoft guns within Canada because apparently people are worried about replica guns versus like real guns. But these kind of laws are really stupid because they don't actually help gun regulation at all, because people who want to use guns illegally will find ways regardless.
The alert. Return to your position.
And I do own airsoft guns. I don't really play games, airsoft games that much in particular. However, I do shoot like pop cans for the fun of it with friends and whatnot. But another reason why I do collect airsoft guns, or at least use airsoft guns, is when I'm teaching and training.
HQ, what's going on?
Because I often use it as reference to teach people how firearms operate. Because most of the time, like, people who don't know how firearms operate, they're just like, oh god, they look at it as if it's an explosive. No, you guys just don't know how it runs. So airsoft is a very good and easy way of learning how to use firearms safely. Like, so yeah, I had to find a petition to sign because I really wanted to voice my opinions and thoughts about that. Oh yeah, this is a bit of a ramble there. And, okay, who else is still awake here? Probably the scientists. Yeah, after we watched my old man and I watched Django, I showed him the fifth. Was it the fifth? It's pretty much the tranquilizer pincushion part of the Let's Play, because I told him about how in Metal Gear you can have the option of not killing people. You can play this game as a pacifist without killing anyone. And to an extent, that's almost how I prefer to play. Like, whenever there's a option to neutralize people in other stealth action games, I usually opt that way. Like, Metal Gear has really sort of, I was about to say programmed, but I don't want to make it seem like brainwashing here, but it's really encouraged me to play a lot more like pacifist-like, and that's another reason why I almost don't really prefer playing like modern shooters like Call of Duty on that stuff. Not that there's anything wrong with them. Like I said, you guys just saw me snipe a guy from the mountain and cheer it on in the previous video here. But yeah, it's just, I do like to play stuff that really gets me to question my sense of morality, because funny thing about me is I always aim to play as a good guy or a hero character, and I'll get into more depth about it, but part of it does tie to how like I play Metal Gear. But that's not to say I won't be ruthless, though. I can be pretty sadistic when I decide to kill some people in games. So yeah, that's pretty much it. In fact, I'll show you guys how ruthless I can be in a bit here with freaking Raikov, you son of a bitch. Yeah, a lot of people didn't like Raiden, so that's why Kojima added Raikov here, so that we can vent our anger on him in this game, because Kojima was like, alright, I get it, you guys didn't like Raiden, so here you go, you get to kill him in this game, or a version of him. Wow. Yeah, quite the fashion statement you got there, buddy. But, alright. And yeah, there's Raiden himself, the poster from like right in from MGS2. Yeah, in fact, yeah, I'll show you guys how ruthless and mean I can be. Oh, you fucking piece of shit.
This is HQ. What's going on?
Yeah, so... Yeah, I do have my brutal, vicious, mean streaks, so...
Do you want to save?
Yes, I would like to save, paramedic. So, we're hitting the 31-minute mark here, so I'm going to cut this part here, and I'll be right back with you guys after I save here. In fact, you know, I guess I'll keep this bit in here just to show you guys how many save files I have here, just in case something goes wrong. Because I usually just cut this out, but... Okay. Yeah. Wait. Okay, yes. Like so, this is going to be more of an issue when we play something like Metal Gear Solid 5 or games with autosave, because I'm really going to have to keep my fingers crossed to make sure that recordings don't fuck up.
Hey, Snake, have you seen 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea?
Nope, haven't seen that one.
After a number of
Vaguely, I've
battleships
seen like
mysteriously sink at
bits
sea,
of it.
the American government investigates and finds that the culprit is this pacifistic Captain Nemo. The scene where the giant squid attacks Captain Nemo's submarine, the Nautilus, is breathtaking. The movie was filmed in CinemaScope, and it was great to see it on the big screen.
A giant squid, huh?
What? Don't tell me you think it sounds tasty.
They are tasty, though. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I love squid in terms of seafood. But anyways, I digress. So I'll catch you guys all in a bit. See yous in a bit.